3, 2, 1, go. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Broken Sand Dollars. Double D and Corinne here with you for another episode, Season 2, Episode 46.
Wow.
Getting close to starting Season 3. I don't know what I'm going to do different yet in that one. I'll think of something. But, thank you everybody for hanging out with us and always checking us out, domestic and international listeners. I keep trying to coax the international ones to get a hold of me, and I'll send them a shirt or something.
Oh,
but
that's a great idea.
they keep hiding. They keep hiding.
We have a Facebook page going?
I do not. See, oh
Oh.
my gosh. Okay, so when I first started this,
Uh-huh.
I went nuts and bought all this equipment. I have Broken Sand under an LLC
Oh.
that I have no clue, no idea what even to do with. I bought the domain name brokensanddollars.com.
Yeah.
And I have done nothing with any of that
Yeah.
stuff. I need to do something, but there's something in my brain that when it says I got to do a lot of work, it finds something else to do.
Shuts it down. Yeah, I get it. Well, maybe
Yeah.
I can help with that as we move forward.
Oh.
Yeah, I might be able to do that.
Right on, you got
Yeah.
some skills.
I have some marketing and background and writing skills that I might be able to
Nice.
put to use. Yeah. Yeah, we can talk
Nice.
about that more.
Heck
yeah.
yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, definitely.
Well, even the
Definitely.
Facebook page shouldn't be that hard to start, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, it
Nice.
does take some research and work. Yeah.
Yeah, because now that I got the newer van and cruising on the beach,
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to put more videos of cruising on the beach and stuff.
Oh,
and
that's a great idea.
then I look at drone things. I'm like, oh, why haven't I done that yet?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. It can be overwhelming. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, where do I even start, right?
Yep.
But one thing too, when you're taking your trip, you might think of getting one of those car magnets for your van and put them on each side with the
Nice.
logo and the
See?
yeah.
That's good thinking.
There you
I never
go.
thought of anything like that.
Yeah, that way you're always visible, right? Always
on.
putting the name out there.
Makes them curious.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
nowadays they'll be driving along, see, oh, we got to check it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've done
I-
that, right? It's
I
like,
got-
especially when it's kind of like something different that you've never seen before. So yeah, you can make it
Yeah, I
pretty
gotta
cool.
make that
Okay,
happen.
they're pretty easy and they're not very expensive. Yeah, you can
Nice.
just go online at one of those. What are those called? Those printing.
I use Canva.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Or what's that other one? There's another big one that they do everything. But yeah,
I've been looking at a lot of Shopify stuff lately.
yeah.
Wonder if they do that.
Oh, they even do them on Amazon. I just remember because
Oh.
that's where I get some of my stuff for like the Jeep and whatever. Yeah,
Right on.
Yeah.
I am an Amazon shopper.
yeah, me too. Too much.
Mm.
Every month I'm like, oh, when my bill comes, what? When did I do this?
I have so many boxes I've tore down and are just sitting in my
Oh,
spare
yeah.
room right now.
Oh, geez.
Just piling up.
Oh, you
Yeah.
need someone to take them to the place?
Kind of, yeah.
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 Okay, we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
I can probably fit some in.
Well, the person that was usually does it for me right now is kind of laid up hurt. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we
Yeah,
could totally do
yeah.
it.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I don't know
Thank
how
you.
much is in there, but I know even with Kevin Suburban, we could probably load them up.
Oh, yeah. One box is only probably like 6 feet long.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Maybe weighs 120 pounds.
Okay, I could probably
I
fit
got
in.
it stuffed full of boxes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, that's awesome.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
See, I'm enjoying this already.
Happy to
This-
help. Yeah, of
this
course.
is great.
Yeah.
I'm already learning all kinds of new stuff. Heck yeah. No, but one of the main things about this program, since you're going to be doing this off and on now,
I would love to.
we got to get to know you.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Happy to.
I've thought of a few questions. And
Okay.
if anybody else can think of some questions, to send us in, brokensandollars22@gmail.com, or comment below the video. And yeah, we'll check them out and see if there's some for next time.
Okay, sounds good.
But what I've already kind of know is a little traveling.
Uh-huh.
Now, is it traveling something you've done all your life? Is this new or?
Well, so I'm an immigrant. My father, who has since passed away, but he's from Lebanon, and my mother's German. She's from Germany, and they met in Beirut. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, back
Wow.
in 1963. And I was born in 64, and we lived in Saudi Arabia and Lebanon. And then my father applied, Lebanon, sadly, and, this was 60 years ago, right? Has been in an ongoing has been in ongoing turmoil
Yeah.
like the rest of the Middle East. And they have been affected, even though they were, for the most part, a very Parisian city, Beirut, and country. And they just really never wanted to be involved. But there are so many factions of the people that do want to be involved that ended up kind of infiltrating that country. So I guess what I'm trying to say is my dad kind of saw the writing on the wall and knew there's not a lot of opportunity there for him with a new family. So applied for a visa both for the U.S. and also for Australia. And
Wow.
the U.S. one happened to come through first.
Wow.
And my uncle, who also has passed away, but he had a falafel stand in New York City.
Nice.
So had a walk up in Brooklyn, was like,
Right
hey,
on.
you should come here, it's great. And so that's where we ended up in Brooklyn, which is now, okay, so my cousin still lives in the bottom of it, and it's now part of like Dumbo, like that whole $2 million plus area. And when we lived in it, it was
Wow.
like a roach infested walk up, like all kinds of people from all over the world lived in Brooklyn. And I
Yeah.
just remember growing up there, running around
Wow.
outside with no supervision with all these other kids, right?
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
right.
How
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, Black, Spanish, Latino, Middle Eastern, like we
You grew
just
up
were
with the
all,
world.
yep, with the world. And
Wow.
so then we ended up in Queens for a while too, near Flushing Meadow. And then my dad started getting promoted and we moved to Pennsylvania. But he always worked for the airlines from when he met my mom on Pan
Right on.
American Airways way back when.
Way back when.
Yeah, when it was, the
Yeah.
big luxury airliner. And so he always had free flights and opportunities to go to different countries. And so while very young, I was able to go to different places, where he went, where he would take the family, because that would be like his vacation. So it would always be kind of a work family vacation. So, yeah.
How cool.
So I think that's how I kind of got it in me, just
Yeah.
being exposed to different cultures from the beginning of my life, I think made me not afraid to go to other countries and
That's
just
very
be,
cool.
feel comfortable and not feel threatened or afraid of anything.
That's
Yeah.
so cool because I
Yeah.
think too many people
They're afraid.
unfortunately feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's so much, and I only did it once in my life, but there's so much more outside these
Oh,
areas.
gosh.
Just give it a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Absolutely. And
Mm.
it's one thing to go, and a lot of Americans do see some of that when they go on vacation to like Cabo or Cancun. I mean, you see some parts of that area or that country that really are poverty, like beyond what you see here. Although now, our homelessness has gotten so bad that
Oh.
it resembles that a lot.
Yeah.
But when you go to a country like Vietnam, which is what we most recently did, that is a whole culture built around poverty, which is really interesting. So it's not necessarily pockets, it's the way people live there. And that's
Nice.
really different than here where I mean, not to say they don't have nice cities, but even in those nice cities, it's built on this foundation of these very humble working class people just trying to make a living from either what they grow in their backyard or what they've made from their hands or what they're hustling with,
Wow.
or so that was very different to
Wow.
see. Yeah.
Yeah. That time, and my brain's just going, that's so not America.
No. No.
That's, oh my gosh. What an awesome way to grow up.
Yeah, I
That's
feel
very
very
cool.
blessed.
Yeah.
There's two sides, or there's many sides to being an immigrant family in the United States, and it was often difficult for my father, who, came from a very patriarchal kind of culture, which Middle Eastern, despite how far advanced Lebanon was in terms of being, kind of like the France of the Middle East, you still grow up with this idea that the male and the man is the dominant, he runs the house, right?
Yeah.
And everything revolves around him.
Wow.
And on top of that, he had kind of a hair trigger temper, and, he was short, so he had that going for him.
Oh.
He had a very thick accent. So, but he didn't put up with shit, right? Like, he
Nice.
was a scrapper.
Yeah.
He had one eye shot out in Lebanon from a friend who
Wow.
was like, it was kind of, I don't know if it was a real gun or BB gun, but nevertheless, he lost an eye. So he had that. He always wore these dark glasses. He was super handsome,
Yeah.
he kind of had that like Brat Pack kind of a look,
Oh, right on.
right?
Right
Martini, Sammy
Yeah.
Davis Jr. with the dark glasses kind of thing.
Nice.
And he was
Cool
very
group.
dark, right? So there were still some prejudices, and still are, for Arabic
Yeah.
people in the U.S.
Unfortunately.
Even if you're in a melting pot area, there's still they just tend towards tribal behavior. And so,
Yeah.
he would get in these little altercations with people. I remember one time as a kid, and I'll never forget this. I was probably like 6 or 7, and I go outside, and he's got the garden hose. I don't know what neighbor it was, but he was pissed, and he's swinging it around like he's gonna
Nice.
beat the shit out of someone. I'm
Right
like,
on.
what is going on here? He was crazy. He was a little crazy.
Yeah.
But it was just that survival culture of these males that come from a country where you're just fighting your way out of stuff, and you just don't put up with shit. So,
Like you said earlier, yeah, he had the sense early enough
yeah,
to get out. I don't imagine that was an easy
no,
thing to do.
they had like $100 in their pocket. They had nothing, and that takes a lot of courage.
Wow.
And we're not the only ones. I think we forget, especially in today's, really angry political culture, but the people that came to this country for a better opportunity for their families, that's really what it was about,
Yeah.
right? It takes a lot of courage to leave what you know and just start a whole new life, without, having to make new friends, having to find
Yeah.
a job, having to, not necessarily having that support system. So, yeah, I give them a lot of credit,
That's-
even though he was a little nuts sometimes. Maybe you had to be. Maybe you had to be nuts to do that, right?
Yeah. I would only imagine. The farthest I've been on the East Coast is Virginia.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, that's fairly far east.
And that was mid 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I couldn't imagine what it's like now. I mean, you can leave your house here and go for a walk and maybe not run into anybody for a while, but imagine if you leave your building there, your first step onto a sidewalk,
Yeah.
there's all of humanity
Yes.
going by.
Yes.
I've never experienced that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, and when you get
Wow.
out of Ocean Shores, I think today even more so. I mean, even last 2 years, because you get kind of into your micro world, right? And I lived in Seattle before I moved here, and there are different cultures that tend to gravitate towards different parts of the country and different cities. So in Seattle, there were a lot of Japanese people and a lot of Asian people that tended to have communities around there. And you forget all the other parts of the world that go to different parts of the country. So we went to Chicago, and you haven't been there, but I recommend it. It's really
Yeah.
cool. And that is now a melting pot too. There are just people from all over the world. And I think because the when we came, I think they only allowed a certain number of immigrants to come in, kind of what they're trying to do again, still on that
Yeah.
southern border.
Yeah.
But then
Right.
things just opened up, and we really became this just so many different countries now live in the U.S. and all parts of the U.S. So
Yeah.
it is cool to see. And then also the intercultural marriages, unions that have happened that are creating this whole new generation of
That's awesome.
children
That's
that,
awesome.
right? I love that. Yeah.
Well, your dad's Lebanese,
Yeah.
your mom's your.
Exactly.
Let's see, my mom was French Canadian and my dad was Mutt.
Meaning like all European.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
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 So, but French Canadian, I can kind of see that in you. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. Like, I could see you out there being like a trapper or something,
Oh. Oh, it's funny you say that. One of my heirlooms I've kept through the family, I have an old 1884 double barrel shotgun
Oh.
from my great grandpa.
So he was.
Supposedly bought it back from a Hudson Bay company way back in the day in
Wow.
Canada, and it doesn't fire anymore. It's a wall piece, but it's made when they used strips of steel and wrapped it to make a
Around.
barrel instead of a solid barrel.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was a trapper or at
Way-
least a hunter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
way back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried hunting when I was a kid, but I was way too noisy.
Oh,
I was way too
they all
noisy.
ran away. They're
I
like,
could,
Darian's coming. Let's
oh
go.
my gosh. I was with a brother-in-law once. We're out in the woods near Hub Tulips. He's on an upper ridge. I'm down below. He can hear me playing with my gun down below.
Oh my gosh.
So he shoots into the bushes
Uh-huh.
to my left and goes, "It's over there." I start sprinting through the woods. Next thing you know, I can hear him laughing from the. Oh my gosh, yeah, good times.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. But you're also an animal lover, so
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
I don't
anymore.
know that I could even see you
No, not anymore.
killing one.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I love when Brian and Carrie bring over Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, well, I can bring Boomer next time if you'd like.
yeah, that's why I got a fence.
Oh,
I used to have a 15-inch beagle
okay.
that was 54 pounds,
Uh-huh.
so he was a little chunk.
Yes.
When he passed, it just broke my heart so
Oh.
much. I haven't been able to. But my house is set up for it. I got a doggy door over in the left.
Oh, gosh.
I got.
I
yeah.
will bring Boomer over for sure. You
Right
will
on.
love him. He's a
Right on.
140-pound bull mastiff,
Oh, that's awesome.
but he's a lover,
That's awesome.
and he would love you.
Right on.
Yeah. So, and he, yeah. In fact, you
Nice.
might love him so much you might want to keep him, and I would be fine with that.
I do love it when my friends bring over dogs. Like Charlie, he'll jump right in bed with me,
Oh.
and I have a pair of socks
Oh.
that I let him put in his mouth.
Oh.
So he can hold, and then he just starts whining. Oh, it's so fun. It's
Oh
so
yeah.
fun.
You would love Boomer.
Yeah, but-
He likes to talk too. He could probably be on this podcast with you.
I would love to do that. Sorry
We
for
should
being
do
rude. But this fell off or shut off, and I'm blind to my questions.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. You have some.
Yeah, no, just I'm so interested still in traveling
Yeah.
that so before we get into future travel,
Yes.
top 3 history travels you've done.
Okay, so I spent a lot of time in Germany. I do love Germany just because I feel like it's home in a lot of ways.
Right on.
And in fact, so I'll be taking my mom back there in a couple weeks
Nice.
to see her best friend, who's my godmother.
Right
And so
on.
that's going to be really
Right
cool.
on.
That was like her 80th birthday gift.
Nice.
And so I do love Germany. There's just a lot there. I mean, it's obviously got a very checkered past with the wars and but there's a lot of good in that well, that sounds really stupid, but it's a cool country and there's a lot of history there.
It's changed a lot.
It
since
has.
those days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really challenge anyone to find a country that doesn't have something black in its well, that didn't sound right, but something in its past that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
is not well, maybe some of those like Swedish, but even those, I'm sure they can find something in their past where they didn't treat
Oh,
other human beings
if
in a
people look
good
hard
way.
enough, they'll
Right,
find something. Yeah.
exactly.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's even if it's just one person who was a menace to
Yeah,
that area.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I do love Germany. It's just a lot of fun. The food, you got to kind of like that kind of food. If you like beer,
Schnitzel.
obviously, yeah, schnitzel,
Mm,
sausages.
yeah.
I just have very fond memories of spending time with my grandmother. She lived really almost in the city of Frankfurt, so I'm excited to go back and see it as an adult because it's been a long time since
Nice.
I've been there.
Yeah.
And you know how everything when you're young seems so big, and then when you go back, you're like, this is this is tiny. I don't remember that.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's awesome.
yeah. So Germany, always recommend. I do remember when the wall was still up, taking a bus tour through East Berlin at the time, and that was really eye-opening because it was so
That's.
bleak there. Yeah,
We're definitely going to have a lot of story times with her because I'm so interested. Now
yeah,
I want to hear about wall stuff. Now I want to.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So
This is great.
it's really cool. And then so I remember going to Brazil. I was fairly young, but here's a funny story, and this just shows you how small the world is. When we lived in Queens, again, there were people from all over the world there. I went to PS 165, and I had this really good friend. Her name was Priscilla, and she was Brazilian. And we moved away from Queens to Pittsburgh when I was in fourth grade. And then I think she moved away as well sometime, before or after. But it's hard to keep in touch when you're that age. So anyway, years later, my dad had this junket or whatever he was doing to go to Brazil, and we all went to Rio. And I think I was probably about 12 or 13 now, right?
Still an age to remember.
Still the age to remember. And we go to this open like flea market, and it's crowded with people, whatever. And I turn around, and there is Priscilla from Queens, New York, that I knew in grade school, in
What?
Rio de Janeiro in the market. Can you believe that?
One of those. It's a small world
Yes,
moment.
it is. And we
Wow.
talked, and her family invited us over for dinner, and we had
How
a
cool.
I know, and that is what happens. And I think sometimes the more you travel, the more those kinds of serendipitous things tend to happen. I
Nice.
know my dad, who traveled a lot,
Yeah.
much more than we did, with his business, he would always run into people, whether it's in an airport or in another place. Like, it's just funny how,
That's cool.
yeah, people from your past somehow you have this connection and they show
Well,
up again.
and that made it an adventure within an adventure.
Right.
You going over to their house, eating food.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's so
And it
cool.
was authentic, it was everything was
That's
just
very
really
cool.
cool. Yeah. So
Nice.
so that has a good memory for me in Brazil. But
Wow.
yeah, I think and then of course Vietnam, definitely one of
Nice.
my top countries.
Watching drone videos of Vietnam, seeing some of the pictures, the beautiful picture you made of my birthday card.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. I being in a wheelchair, there's some spots I'd like to, but I know I can't get to, but I'm sure they got some areas.
Oh yeah.
I'm just curious, just walking on the street with the people.
Yeah.
What?
Well, okay, let me tell you this.
Okay.
It is an extremely dangerous place to walk.
Oh.
It is crazy. And I need to probably find a picture, and I will. But, okay, first of all, their sidewalks are all in shambles. Like, you can't, I can't imagine people don't sprain their ankles when they go there. There's just, and I took pictures of those too because they don't take care of their streets and sidewalks. It's just all a mess. There are also millions of motor scooters everywhere, and they
Yeah.
do not pay attention to any traffic signals whatsoever. They could care
Oh my
less if it's
gosh.
red. You are taking your life into your hands anytime you venture to cross the street. And in fact, Kevin, my boyfriend who came with
Yeah.
or who met me there, he got hit by a scooter, just like brushed, going the wrong way on a one-way when Kevin was trying to
What?
cross the street just to get some ice cream or something.
Oh my God, I'm so glad he didn't get hurt.
So I don't know, Darian, if I would even. I'm
I
going to
don't.
find a picture for you because They go in like
And
hundreds
oh,
because they don't really
and I'm not
have
rolling down the
cars.
road.
They don't have
Oh,
cars. No. Oh, they have cars, but they're fewer and far between than. Oh, I think I
wow.
put it towards the end. And okay,
Crazy.
here's the other funny part about the scooter thing, Darian, is that the things they carry on the back of their scooters, like a family of four, 5,000 boxes, a, a carnival ride, like it's just
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, I have some
How
pictures.
how well built are these scooters over
Well,
there?
one would be, I don't know. One would be hard pressed to find out because, well, and they go through these like crazy little alleys that are just here.
Oh wow,
You can't,
you can't fit a
no,
Prius through that.
but they do.
Wow.
The other fun thing, and
The
I'm sorry, I
architecture
don't want
looks
to, yeah, I
beautiful.
should probably next time maybe flag some of these so I can show you. The other thing is the way their restaurants are set up is basically you sit, and if you ever really want to see authentic Vietnam, you can watch, and this is what we did, the Anthony Bourdain special.
I wish he was still around.
I know, but he did this wonderful, he loved Vietnam.
Yeah.
And that actually was one of the reasons why I wanted to go there too.
Nice.
But he did this great series, I think it was in two parts of going to Vietnam and eating all the local foods there. But a lot of it's street food where you have these tiny little plastic chairs and tables and you're just sitting on the side of a sidewalk and they're basically making the food in a pot on the street from a fire, right?
Wow.
And it's grandma and the dad and the kids and they're all barefoot and they're, and they bring you this plate of food that costs maybe, I don't know, $3.
Wow.
And it is delicious.
Yeah.
Now, we did taste some things that we didn't know, like cow balls. Did not know I was eating those.
Wow.
I wanted a dumpling, and I
Wow.
got cow balls instead.
That is a cruel joke. Wow.
I can't say it didn't taste good. It was pretty good. It tasted like a meatball.
Oh,
But,
okay.
yeah, but there were like jaws and weird things in this soup. Like it was kind of weird. And then we went to another place that was
Wow.
packed with people, and they were eating the same thing. Everyone was eating the same thing with chopsticks with tiny pieces of meat. And we're like, oh, this looks good. So we sat down, ordered, they brought it, and they were frog legs, tiny little. And we were like trying to pick it out of our teeth. And these locals were just able to use their chopsticks so elegantly and just like, in and out meat. And we were like, what the hell? How do we eat this stuff? How do we spit a bone that's
Wow.
like the size of a little needle out of our teeth? So, just those little things like that are fun to think about. Okay, here, I think I found it.
That's awesome.
So, okay, here you go. So, scooter wise, this is often at the top what a street would look like.
That's a lot of scooters,
It
people.
is a lot of
Trust me.
scooters, yeah. So
Wow.
that's a lot. Oh, you can't. How do I show it this way? Maybe I don't know if you can see it, but and so
gotta learn
then
more.
like
We'll
you'd
do it.
have a family, and you'd have and this is how they cross. So you try and cross. They'd carry all these like big coolers. They'd
What
carry
the-
that. I don't even know. That was like a stand of some sort, like a jewelry stand or something like that. The women knew how to ride it with their legs,
Side
saddle. Yep.
What the?
And they'd make. Now I rode one at the very beginning with a guy,
Yeah.
and it was. I was a little scared, but they're so confident in their abilities to ride that you start to not become scared. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm just gonna, put my faith in the scooter gods here. I don't know. Look at this lady has like this whole thing on the back of hers.
Wow.
I know. It's crazy. They're just.
That's impressive.
This is their delivery guys. These are delivery scooters. They're delivering drinks.
So they drive around with that stuff and nothing gets knocked off.
Nope. And
Wow.
so their Ubers are actually scooters
That's
as well.
cool.
So yeah, that was in Korea. That was after when I was coming back home. So
Interesting.
yeah, I'll tell you about Korea too. But the system there for Ubering is a scooter. So
Okay.
So you call for their Uber. I'm trying to remember the name of it now, and they'd come with a scooter, give you a helmet, you jump on, and they take you to wherever you want to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what is that in the bag?
So that's a drink. I think it's a bubble tea, or like they have all kinds of yummy teas there.
Is there a cup inside there, or is it just
Yeah.
the bag?
No, it's a cup.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought that was just a.
No, and they put it in the bag so that they
Awesome.
can carry it on their scooters.
Wow.
Everything is related to the scooter. So the
Nice.
bags and all the things on the back. Um, Let me tell you too, the coffee in Vietnam is intense.
Got some kick?
Oh, big kick. And they drink it, like, it takes a while to make. They drink it with condensed milk, sweet condensed milk at the bottom, and you mix it up. Oh, it's to die for. But I think I drank way too much of it because by the end, my stomach was just
Oh,
rotted out from coffee. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But it
Wow.
was cool. You needed it though. You know, they need it because it's so hot there, so hot and humid that you just need something to kind of get you going. But you see a lot of these, the men, here's another interesting, patriarchy kind of thing. The women are the ones that work really hard there.
Yeah.
And the men are often in their bare feet, drinking and smoking and talking.
Wow. So the sugar mama has to work also.
Yeah, and they've got kids running around everywhere, and they're
Yeah.
working with their kids doing, so for instance, in all of the cities that we went to, and we went all the way around Vietnam from north to south, and every city had, again, the way they're set up is you've got these very tall, almost like townhomes that are all connected in various states of degradation, like
Yeah.
they're in disrepair, a lot of them. And so yeah, and so and you'd always see like three workers in a wheelbarrow. Like that was our kind of our running joke, is because that's who would go and do repairs. They didn't have these big crews. They'd have like three guys and a wheelbarrow, and also a cement mixer. And that was how they like tried to repair whatever they could, right? They're
Wow.
just patching up what they could. But anyway, so in these buildings, you've got this front area that's open, probably has some kind of garage door or some kind of doors that they close up at night. But that is where they sell their wares. So whatever it is, it could be food, it could be vegetables, it could be a little restaurant, it could be lots of nail places, it could be t-shirts, right? So
Wow.
that's all in the front, but that's their home, right? So in the back of their home, so they've got a store in the front. In the back will often be someone like grandma's watching TV, or they're like, so that's kind of their area. And they don't have a lot of furniture because they really do just sit on very low things or on the floor
Yeah.
to eat, right? So it's very
Wow.
sparse. And the kitchen, a lot of times, if you had to go to the bathroom while you were in a restaurant, you were using their bathroom. So they had like their shower stuff and their towels and
Oh,
and their bathrobe hanging on the back of the door. Yeah.
interesting.
So it was like you were going into their home to buy whatever they had or eat their food.
Wow.
And then upstairs was where they actually lived. So it was kind of all in one. And we were guessing that if they had some kind of a business, it probably cost them less to live there. So they kind of combine it all. Because as a foreigner, you can't really just go in and start a business. It's a very complicated system because they're kind of a dictatorship, but not really. It's almost like this it's not really a democracy, but it's almost socialist, right? I mean, people seem to have their freedom, and they actually seem pretty happy.
Yeah.
They're just really poor. They're
Ah,
really poor. That
yeah.
country is, again, we were there for a month. I was there for almost a month, and I probably spent as much as I would spend here in a week. Like it's that poor. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it
Yeah,
really is
yeah.
cheap. Yeah.
Wow.
Meals are $3,
And like you said, super delicious.
super delicious. Yeah, you
Yeah.
could seriously go there and not cook and
Wow.
still live very
Yes.
comfortably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's just really cheap.
Wow.
And everyone is on their phones. That's the other piece. So everyone's dirt poor. Everyone has an iPhone.
Everyone has a.
And that is their door to the outside world. They see nothing else. because I thought about it, like, why is everyone, I mean, they're sitting there, even in the markets, they're just waiting for people to come. It's 100 freaking degrees. They're hot. They're laid out in their, they put lawn chairs, like,
Yeah.
and just lay out there in their bare
Wow.
feet, and they're on their phones, just look, either watching a show or looking at things from across the world.
Okay, so do they buy their own phones, or does like the government give them to them?
That's a good question. I think they buy them.
Well,
Yeah, but I don't think they're as expensive. They must be highly subsidized. And I don't know if they have any kind of, where they are, what's the word, censored at all.
oh,
I don't know. Because
yeah,
again, I thought these people who know nothing beyond their little village, when we'd meet people, they'd be like, they were so enamored about where we came from,
yeah.
and that there was someone from the outside of their world
Wow.
that they often have never traveled beyond just their home. And so
Wow.
that is kind of cool, but kind of sad that they can get that from their phones.
This can give you such a skewed look on life.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah.
Because if they're watching the Kardashians, they're thinking that's how life
That's
is.
wow.
Yeah. So anyway, there was a lot. It was a big
Interesting.
cultural experience there that the first couple days is shocking, and then it becomes your normal,
Nice.
and nothing starts to bother you anymore.
Now, like when someone has to prepare to go to Africa or something,
Yeah.
get your Malaysia or
Yeah.
malaria pills and that stuff. Was there anything you had to do
Yeah.
for those travels?
Yeah. Now none of the shots were required, like Africa. I'm pretty sure there's a couple that are required, but some of them we elected to get. Malaria was a big one because that felt scary with all the mosquitoes and
Yeah.
things. But and then so I remember I had to buy one shot. It was like $500. It was a lot. Yeah, because a lot of
Ooh.
them are not just like the flu shot. It's like these
Yeah.
special ones. Because when you
Wow.
read the guidebooks, it kind of scares you, like, oh, there's all these things you can get. But when we found out, well, first of all, you don't drink the regular water for sure. Like you just don't do it.
Yeah.
You buy bottled water all the time. But also in the cities, you're pretty safe from all that. And I never got sick from any street food. And I ate
Nice.
street food every day.
Right on.
We very seldom ate at a real restaurant.
Yeah.
And Kevin didn't get sick either.
Awesome.
The day I felt not so good, it's because I think I had too much of the coffee. Is honestly, that can make you not feel good too. But and we also bought, like, I spent so much money on these different pills, anti this, anti that, a mosquito net, like all thinking I was going to like Africa.
Yeah.
And when I got there, and it took up so much of my suitcase, I
Oh.
didn't need any of it.
Wow.
Didn't take one pill. Didn't unzip the mosquito net,
Wow.
it was all pretty. Now,
That's
if you,
awesome.
yeah, we felt really good about that. If you go out into the Sapah Valley, which is up north, and where a lot of they don't call them indigenous anymore, they call them the minority groups, really, I think,
Wow.
because they are the people that have never left that countryside, and that's they farm land, and or they do animal husbandry, or they do lots of they produce craft work, and they sell those in the city. So they'll do
Nice.
beautiful tapestries and bags and things like that.
Right
So
on.
yeah, so that was really cool. And but I think if you go out there, there's probably more mosquitoes, and there's probably more ways to get sick. But
Yeah.
we haven't gone there yet, and we thought next time maybe we would try that, because it's supposed to be amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So then, right there are plans to go back to Vietnam.
And Thailand, hopefully this time. Yeah.
Oh.
I've heard Thailand is really cool too.
Now, this is just me, but I've heard Thailand has become quite the marijuana capital.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. Well, here's something funny. You did not smell marijuana in Vietnam ever. Everyone smoked cigarettes. Everyone, like the men especially. But I did not smell marijuana. So it is illegal there, and you don't want to get caught with it. Yeah.
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 That's, yeah,
Now,
crazy.
here's the other thing, and this is a completely side historical part, and what drew me there as well is I was born in 64, so the wars were still going on, but I was too young to really understand any of it, right? Nixon era, all of that, the Vietnamese War, so
Yeah.
the Vietnam War. And so, but as I got older and we were taught, because it was fresh when I was a kid, that's what we were taught as history, or part of what we were taught. And so, and I read both, I read a lot of fictional accounts of life in Vietnam as a soldier, and of course there's all the movies that came out, right?
Yeah.
That depicted it, and it always just fascinated me in terms of how horrible a war it was and what it did to these young boys.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and as I got older and became a mother and would look at my children, and every year for the beginning of the school year, you had to fill out whether you would expose your son's name to the government, like if you allowed them to be registered for draft or whatever. I always said no.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like this
Yeah.
really weird decision, right? And so, because I would look at them as a 16, 17, 18-year-old and think, I cannot imagine you. You're still a baby going to this completely different
Your
side
head's
of the
not fully
world.
developed.
Right. And the atrocities that
Oh.
went on there. And so, a big part of our trip, at the very beginning of our trip, I went when I first got there, and then I took Kevin there when he arrived about a week or so later. They have this entire museum dedicated to the war, and it allowed you, they have a lot of paraphernalia and memorabilia there, and they've also recreated a lot of things, and they have actual footage of the camps and just the kinds of atrocities that went on, and it really brings it home to you. Now, this is a country that was
Wow.
not only invaded, they did not only fight Americans, they have a history of being, of having other countries like Japan and China colonialize them and make them part of their
Wow.
country. And so they are used to fighting back, and they are a tough people. And they're, stature wise, they're tiny.
Yeah.
They're tiny people.
Yeah.
And, and it's not a big country. They're small people. It's hot. They don't eat anything that makes them, they eat rice and fish and all these things,
Yeah.
and vegetables. So they're a tiny people, but gosh, they just know how to survive. And when you see the camps, the way they were caged, everyone,
Yeah.
I'm not taking sides in this at all. It was a horrible time. And the napalm, and you see the effects of the napalm, and it was really, really, it goes deep to your heart. And I'm glad we did it at the beginning of the trip, because then when you went around to the country and met all the different people, you had a different perspective of what
Nice.
they have gone through
Yeah.
as a people.
And to turn out like what I've seen so visually beautiful. You get to
Absolutely.
experience the people. That's awesome.
They were wonderful. Everywhere we went, they were so kind.
Wow.
They would often sense if you needed help and were quick to come and assist you.
Right on.
I had some of the most wonderful women, just, they loved that I was a woman traveling alone. Before Kevin came, I
Yeah.
had met some on my own. They just couldn't imagine doing that,
Woman
because
power.
right, and they
Yeah.
were not, that's not their culture at all. But also just would go out of their way to take, like, it was pouring down rain. I had packages. I was walking from one place to another, and the manager of the hotel happened to be going home on her scooter and saw me and said, "Hop on, I'll take you back to the hotel." And I mean, she's getting
Wow.
drenched, and she had just gotten off ready to go home, but she took the time and recognized me on the street and said, "Hop on, I'll take you back." Just little things like
Good
that.
human. Good.
Yeah, they just,
Humanity's
yeah,
still out there.
exactly. And they
Yeah.
were just so kind. When you get gas, you're going to someone's house that has some gas in a Coca-Cola bottle, and they're just pouring it in, and they're
Nice.
just always laughing and joking around with you, and it's just,
Very cool.
yeah, it just makes that stay so much more memorable, and it
Nice.
just lives in your heart. Yeah.
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 Well, being there that long too, and you're really getting to immerse yourself.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
Most people are 2 days in and out.
yeah.
Something. Yeah.
Right. And I, it is a privilege to be able to do that. But I would recommend that if you're going to fly 21 hours to anywhere, you want to stay more than a
Oh,
week if you can. It's a
wow.
long trip.
That's a that's a long flight. Holy smokes.
It is a long flight.
Wow.
But the flight is nice. I don't know how long ago you've flown. Have you flown in a while?
No, not the last time I flew when I was 16 years old.
Oh yeah, that's been a while
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
52
do they
now.
still give you food on the plane when you were flying? Because they
Yep.
did. Yeah. So then
Yep.
now there's nothing, right? You get some nuts or whatever. It's like it's
Bring your
totally
own.
no frills. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
You everything costs money. Yeah. The only thing that doesn't is a little cup of drink and a little snack pack of some crackers. Yeah.
And what, in my mind, what really has changed
Yeah.
to
Nothing.
make
They just
all
want to
this?
make more money.
Yeah.
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 It is. Because when I flew as a kid, and that's what made it so fun, is you'd get these like, it was like a TV dinner, but it was this plain food that you looked
Yep.
forward to. Like it was special, right?
Yeah.
It had, the little bread bun and a little dessert and a piece of chicken, something else. Yeah.
Remember my row was, I was me, I was on the aisle. There was a little Japanese lady in the
Uh
middle,
huh.
and there was a dude in the Navy on the side.
Uh huh.
And just got to talk with them for
Yeah.
how it was in the teens. It wasn't 21 though.
Yeah.
But it was a long flight.
Yes.
I just, yeah.
That's a
I
no.
dream about that one a lot.
Yeah. That
that
would be a
was,
good one for you to go back to if you can.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, I'm building my van so I can go out in the woods and go camping.
Right.
But flying, I don't know. I haven't had the urge.
Yeah.
But then I haven't put myself out there and to do something with flying.
Right.
So, yeah, maybe someday.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it more difficult for you in terms of getting you in the seat and all of that? I mean, you'd probably.
On some of the newer
Yeah.
planes,
Yeah.
I think you can possibly get strapped down in your chair.
Okay. Oh,
And
like
some
they
of the
have a
very newer
special
ones.
row. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But the older ones,
Mm.
yeah, I'd be the first one to board,
Yeah.
put me in a seat,
And then they take.
fold up
yeah.
the chair, put it in some closet,
Yeah.
and right there is where I've heard horror stories.
Oh. Of not getting it back.
People not getting
Oh
it.
yeah. No, that would be awful.
That would be,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I've just, like I said, I'm building my van.
Yeah. That's exciting.
It's getting close. I just need to do the mattress now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you. Well, we can talk about that too, because you want to do
Later.
some state parks or some national
Oh
parks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've said for quite a few years now, if I wasn't living in Ocean Shores, which is my favorite place in the world, I would be in West Yellowstone, Montana.
Oh wow.
I've been there a couple times in the winter and a couple times in the summer.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful.
Even in the winter,
Oh,
you let yeah.
Yeah, I can't do much, but
Yeah.
as
But
long as I
still.
got snow tires on my rig, I can still get out and do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But one of the times when I was there, me and family members were celebrating Thanksgiving.
Uh-huh.
And it was during the time all the Paralympic people were practicing for their snow
Oh,
games.
that's so cool.
So cruising downtown, you see all the one leg, one arm, just doing their thing out in
Yeah.
there. And in the wintertime, they closed down the park to big vehicle traffic.
Uh-huh.
So it's just mainly skiers and some snowboarders.
That's really cool.
So yeah, and we had a really nice cabin area. And it was, yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But I want to get back to you.
Okay.
So all these places.
Yeah.
Best food?
Oh gosh. So I love Middle Eastern food. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I grew up on that, and Lebanon. I haven't been back in a long time, but there's a special place in my heart for Middle Eastern food.
Yeah.
But I also really love Thai food, and so to the extent that you could get that in Vietnam, it's a little bit different than Thai, like here, where that you go get at the restaurant.
Yeah.
But the spring rolls and the really authentic fish, they do a lot of these like stews with shellfish in it and
Nice.
fresh fish. That there were places that weren't as good. I would say like there was one beach town where the food wasn't as good as I thought. The inner city food was the best. Like
Yeah.
if you've ever had a banh mi sandwich, Oh, well, so there's some places here. There's a place in Aberdeen that does
Okay.
banh mi sandwiches. And so they make them all different ways, but it came from the French occupation because they do these baguettes,
Okay.
right? Fresh baguettes, which, compared to like one that you just buy in a grocery store, a fresh baguette's amazing because it's crusty on the outside and really soft inside. And then they lay down like some cilantro, and I don't know what the dressing is, or if there is a lot of dressing on it, but and then you can have like an egg and some kind of a meat, and I don't even know exactly what's on it, but it is just amazing.
That
And it
sounds
breakfast,
delicious.
lunch, or dinner, like you could have it any time of day. And the ladies that do them in their carts, because they'll set up their carts in the morning, you can get a banh mi and a coffee and just sit there on the sidewalk, and it is to die for.
The place in Aberdeen, is it special enough to give a shout out?
No, but there
Okay.
is a better place in Olympia,
Right on.
yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but there's a place in Olympia, and I'm trying to remember if it's near the Fred Meyer or not, but that's a good one to go to. Yeah.
And next question is, can you make any of these dishes?
No, I wish I could. I've never been that good at that kind of Thai
Yeah, yeah.
food, I wish I could, but here's the other thing. After I got divorced and, my kids are older now, I cooked for 30 years, and like I finally am cooking a little bit for Kevin
Yeah.
because he kind of he tricked me into it.
Right
but
on, right on. That's
but I
awesome.
just like I got so burnt out from the whole
Yeah.
cooking thing that I just do really simple things now. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah. But I can cook Middle Eastern food.
Right on.
I can make grape leaves, I can make their stews, yeah. So maybe I'll bring you some grape leaves sometime.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah?
Anything that's put in front of me, I will eat.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have you ever tasted Middle Eastern food?
I
Like hummus or
I love hummus.
okay.
Love hummus. Uh, I think is naan
Oh, naan is Indian,
is Indian.
but it's kind of like pita bread.
Oh, okay. I
So
like pita bread.
yeah. Every
Yeah, we
culture
gotta
has
get.
that flatbread that
We'll
they
have to
use.
give it a shot one of these
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, I can make I promised Kevin I would make him grape leaves. But grape leaves are basically it's a leaf from a grape plant,
Yeah.
a vine. And you take rice, uncooked rice, and ground meat, and some allspice and salt and pepper. It's pretty simple. And you mash it all together, the uncooked rice and the meat and the spices, and you put some in the middle of the leaf, and it's kind of like a cabbage roll, right? And then you cook it with broth and lamb, like lamb shanks in it, in like a pressure cooker, and it's really good.
I love lamb.
And then you
I
eat it with
love
like a
lamb.
garlic lemon yogurt sauce, like I forget what they call them, but
Nice.
yeah. So it's yummy.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll make you some.
I'm
Maybe
looking
for the
forward to
holiday.
that.
Well, you'll be here for the holidays, right?
Remember,
Yeah.
it's on video and audio. We've
I'm
heard her
totally
say
gonna
it.
do it. We'll eat it on the air.
Right on. That'd be fantastic. Another question about Vietnam. When you were there, or maybe on your future travels, did you see any caves?
So we didn't see any caves there. I'm trying to remember now. No, I'm going to say no, because we did go to an island called Cat Ba Island, and we were going to do that, but the weather wasn't great.
Oh.
So we kind of went off season, shoulder season, so that
Yeah.
we wouldn't be in the big tourist time.
Best time.
But that was another thing that we wanted to do next time, because
Nice.
I know Kevin really wanted to do that as well. But yeah, we didn't really see that. Yeah.
Nice.
But
Yeah, you don't want to get trapped like those soccer kids.
oh
You know?
God, no, absolutely not.
Oh.
But where we did see caves were in we went to the national park in Nevada. Oh gosh, what's the name of it? And it's going to escape me. But they had bat caverns and caves that you could go into.
Nevada.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
I see. I got a road trip more.
Yeah. You if you are going to do some, what part of the camp? Where are you going to go camp? Like down south?
Anywhere I can.
Okay. Oh God, what is the name of it?
I have one brother that wants to do the Pan American Highway
Oh wow.
which would be thousands upon thousands of miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But this first one you're going to do for the couple.
The first one I want to do probably mid to early spring. I have been thinking about Arizona
Yeah.
for a few years at least now.
Uh-huh.
Just seen some amazing pictures, and people have told me about amazing things, and they got some good ADA places where I can still take some paths out into the rocks and
Perfect.
check that out. And now with the new rig, 4x4,
Yeah.
I'm not going to get nutty, and I will
Right.
always have someone with me
Right.
for safety.
Perfect.
But at least I can get out on a few gravel roads now and
Yeah.
not have to worry too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, once that bed's done and back, then I can literally sleep at a rest stop.
Well,
Anywhere.
you know, I will give a shout out to, there is this app called Hipster, what? Oh my God, Hip Camp. And Hip Camp is kind of like an Airbnb for camping people because, and we used them quite a bit when we were down there. And you basically, people will have some land and they're like, oh yeah, I could have you guys stay here. Maybe it'll have a porta potty, maybe it'll have a fire pit, maybe it'll have nothing, you know, it just depends. And I can tell you some of the places we stayed. But basically, they are all on this app, and you're like, okay, I'm going to be in, I don't know, let's say I'm going to be in Coeur d'Alene, right? But I don't want
Yeah.
to stay at a hotel. I don't want to, I don't want to pay big money.
Yeah.
And so you put in your zip code and you say, okay, where are all the hip camp places? And you could be literally an hour away and be like, okay, I need a place to stay, because you want to drive. You don't know where you're going to end up, right? You want to just drive as far as you can.
Yep.
You go to hip camp. You're like, okay, I'm going to be here now. In about an hour, you get like 5 different places that have spots available. And you're like, okay, $25, sure, boop. And then
yeah.
and then you get directions, you pay online, like it's all done on your app. You pull in, may or may not meet the host, you know, you can pull in at midnight, whatever. And, you know, we have woken up in cow pastures, and
That's awesome.
I know, or, you know, we've been in someone's like kind of their backyard, but it's got a waterfall and a mountain and yeah. So I
Wow.
mean, it's a really cool way,
Hip camp.
hip camp, and I can send you the link to it.
Please do.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I think it's kind of growing, but it's also somewhat of a hidden gem. And you can have an RV, you can have they don't do as many tents, but I have a little camper, so it was perfect. And
Perfect.
because you can have some of them have full hookup sites, and some of them are just like I said, you're just by a little fire. But we stayed in one
Nice.
place by oh gosh, where was the first place that we went? Not Yosemite. I'm drawing a blank. I'll have to bring some pictures next time of that. But anyway,
Absolutely.
that we woke up, and because we got there really late at night, it was dark, and we woke up and it was all of those beautiful sandstone mountains that were
So
like
cool.
red and in the sunrise, and I thought I was in heaven. It was the most amazing sight I've ever
Wow.
seen. And we were in Utah.
Oh,
It's like another planet.
Utah.
Oh,
I've only been to a few places in Utah, but I want to discover more.
yeah, you should. I would recommend it.
It's beautiful.
It really does
Yeah.
feel prehistoric there.
Ogden, Utah was a
Uh-huh.
nice place. I've been in Salt Lake a couple of times,
Uh-huh.
which the old architecture there.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you go into the tabernacle.
Yeah.
Were you there when the lady like rips the paper?
No, we didn't go into the
I
tabernacle.
think when we did it, there was maybe only 10 of us in a group. And the lady who was giving us a tour, we went and sat in the pews, and she walked up to the podium thing. No microphones. She's just talking like this.
And
You could hear it.
yeah.
The whole, and then she does a 360 while she's talking. And you can still hear it. And then she rips a piece of paper and drops a pen on the ground.
And
And the acoustics,
oh yeah.
I'd love to go back. I did a concert. Me and my nephew, I showed you a picture of, and his dad. We went into a concert in the warehouse district.
Oh, uh-huh.
That was, never done that before.
Oh, that's so
That
cool.
was cool.
Yeah.
400 people in a warehouse.
Wow.
Yeah, listening to some guy from Iceland.
Really?
Yeah, Jonesy.
Oh, that's so cool. I've heard of Jonesy. Yeah, that's so cool.
It was so awesome.
Yeah. Oh my
So
gosh.
awesome.
Yeah. No, I haven't done. Kevin's done the tabernacle before. He was his first marriage. She was Mormon. I don't think she practices anymore, but he said it was really amazing. Yeah, but I'd love to do it. And
That's pretty
yeah, yeah, they build those places for the sound, right? Yeah,
Yeah, except I don't know how long ago they built it, but it's a long time,
yeah.
and there's no electronics in it.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow, I'd
and
love to experience that.
it's bigger than this house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
easily bigger than this
Oh
house.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's gigantic.
yeah,
All the places they build, no matter what, just seem gorgeous. You know,
yep.
better than any church that I've, other than the old Roman ones. You
And I
know.
did the museum there,
Oh, you did. Okay.
which was it was very cool. You know, I learned some Mormon stuff. That's okay. That's kind of neat. But what I found interesting walking around this whole building, every woman was beautiful,
Uh huh.
and they all had their name and what country they came from.
Oh.
But almost every dude in there seemed like some old white guy that I'm like this just don't, that part don't look right. That don't look right. But yeah, that was neat.
Sounds
That
like
was
some
neat.
dystopian story, right?
Yes.
Like they'd like
Yes.
grow these beautiful women in a pod somewhere and bring them out.
In the museum area, I call them the magical underwear or whatever it is. But they had the men's underwear, the women's underwear,
Uh
and
huh.
why they wear it during their certain times.
Oh
And
yeah, the like
that's
was it like long under like those britch or the
oh,
like chastity
it
underwear,
really
right?
covered you up.
Yeah, it was like chastity underwear. Yeah,
Yeah,
I had learned about that
it
as well. Yeah.
covered you up. But then finding out that they have this building, tunnel, I
Uh
don't
huh.
know what it is, that has almost a record on every living person on the planet.
Yeah, they're really big into
And
genealogy.
and they pray for you even if you're not here and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I've always been curious. Can I go there and look myself up?
I think
What do they got
I think
on?
you know they have one here. They have a genealogy.
Really?
Yeah, because there's that Mormon church off of Bass, and
Hmm.
yes. So I think if you ask at the library, they might be able to help you. But there's a sign on the door that says something about genealogy. So I think anywhere there's a Mormon church, they have people that can work on that for you. So yeah, that might be really interesting.
Yeah.
There was a guy that lives by me. I don't see him as much anymore, but I think he was one of the guys that worked on those. But they do all kinds of research because they're
Wow.
always trying to find anyone that's related to one of their original
Or
founders.
Joseph
Yeah,
or whatever. What was his
Joseph.
name?
Yeah, or then there's that other guy too, more recent one. Anyway, John Smith.
Steve.
There was a
Oh yeah,
John Smith.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always say Steve when I don't know.
Well, that's a good bland name.
No, that's awesome. No, yeah, we can talk about travels for at least a few more
Oh
episodes.
God, yeah.
Because we haven't even got into the future
No,
ones
we
yet.
haven't. But I do recommend you, if you can get to Utah, it really, I never appreciated it. And now, like when I see those pictures, you know, you're on your Microsoft and those pictures come up, you're like, oh shit, that is really what it looks like. Like I was there in those, in the arches and the
Oh,
red canyons
cool.
and I mean, it really, so those were all carved from being underwater, under the sea, right?
That's so
And so
crazy.
there's just different levels of stacked rock that are gorgeous, and you
Wow.
can hike into this valley, which we did, that has, they're just called totems, and they're just, it looked like a almost like an auditorium full of, it almost looked like something out of Star Wars. Like these
Right
soldiers were
on.
all, you know, waiting for their command. Like it was just unreal. And
Nice.
you really could imagine dinosaurs walking through the earth at that point. Like
Oh,
it's really hard to describe. And even pictures, like you're like, yeah, that is really cool, but it's, you have to be there and
gotta
be
get out
surrounded
there
by
and
it. Yeah.
touch the dirt a little.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And what's cool about those colors is, and because it's just vast and flat not flat, but the sky is so blue and expansive that
Nice.
as the sunlight hits those reds at any given time of day, you just get a whole different sense of light and perspective. And so that's what makes it even more beautiful to go from the, morning till evening.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now I want to go again.
Yeah, you should go. I mean,
Yeah.
like the sunset's unbelievable. Sunrise is unbelievable, and throughout the day, I mean, it's just really cool.
When I had my old van, I used to travel back and forth between here and Mountain Home, Idaho.
Oh, yeah.
More in the deserty area.
Uh-huh.
But when I'd get there, I'd drive around on the dirt roads, and I found some really cool areas.
Oh, yeah.
And then with some family members, we'd go down to the Snake River.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was a couple of times they rented pontoon boats.
Oh, fun.
It's
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah.
It's just so pretty, and everybody was super nice.
Yeah.
I never had
Oh,
a
absolutely.
bad person around there. And,
Yeah.
oh,
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we
good
found that
times,
too.
good
There's a
times.
lot of people that are just coming from all over, or they sold their house, they're living in their RV now, and they're just traveling around.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of well, I'm not going to say everyone, but a lot of people feel like, I got to get out, like it's now or never. I want to go see some of this country. Forget about the world. I mean, that's one thing.
yeah.
But just to get out and see other parts of the country that you've never seen before and visit these. I don't think I ever appreciated what a national park really was until we took this trip. And the first one, Kevin took me to Yosemite last year. So that was kind of my
Wow.
first time I'd been in a national park. But the idea, and we'd listen to some podcasts on the way down by these two women who know all the national parks. It's called National Park After Dark, and
Oh, right on.
they've had it's like all
Nice.
these kind of creepy stories or
Yeah.
murders or things that have happened in national parks.
Interesting.
But they were both rangers in parks, and so they know the parks really well. But you get a sense of, like, President, I think it was Roosevelt, and some of those presidents that really, who loved nature and really saw the significance of preserving these hundreds of miles of area so that people could come and see the wonders of nature. And really, that sounds so silly, but that's really what they are. Like,
Yeah.
you can't believe that whatever you believe in exists, or made this, or that this happened, right? It's really like awe-inspiring.
Well, the stories of, like, before we were even here, and just the Indians and stuff, and
Yes.
millions of buffalo running across. We'll never see that now, but
No.
man, that would be
It would
that'd
be.
be so cool.
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy how many beautiful things we still have around here that we're just not getting to.
No, I know. And
Yeah.
and even here, I mean, I mean, it's harder for you to travel,
Yeah.
and it's hard for a lot of people to travel, but sometimes it's even, like, I've lived here now a year, I still haven't gotten to everything around here. So sometimes it's just taking a road you've never taken before.
Yep.
Like, find a place. There's another app called All Trails, and you can find a trail somewhere you've never even thought of by your hometown, and maybe you have to drive, I don't know, 30 minutes and find, some trail going through nature and a whole new experience in
Yes.
life, right?
I still have not done the new boardwalk.
Oh yeah, it's
I
pretty
still
cool.
need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's nice. I mean, it's fairly simple, but you know what? I've seen people there that never get a chance to really walk around, and they're like, I have a place now that's near
Nice.
the ocean that I can take a walk on.
Nice.
Yeah, or kids or
Well, one up and back is probably a pretty good little
yeah,
exercise.
it is exactly.
Yeah.
And
I know I'd whine to Carrie. Oh, my arms are tired. Your turn, please.
She was- yeah.
But she's mean. She makes me push myself.
Well, you should. You need to push yourself to stay. You got to stay strong
I do.
for your
I do.
travels, right?
I do. My shoulders are. That's what I keep strong. Well, lately I've changed my diet too.
What are you doing
Well,
on your
since
diet?
I'm a diabetic,
Oh yeah.
my new doctor I'm seeing, she wants me to get off insulin as pretty much as soon as I can.
Oh.
Said the only way to do it is really get strict on your diet and stop eating carbs.
Oh.
So I've pretty much cut carbs out of my life, and I'm just eating meat, cheese, and vegetables,
Uh-huh.
and lots of meat.
Lots of meat.
Well, yeah, and some days, I've had a couple of days where I packed on with 300 grams of protein a day. Because
Wow.
as we get older, we need that for
Yeah.
the muscle building and all that.
Right.
And I got things going on with me that, yeah,
Yeah.
I need to have.
You do.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got to stay
yeah.
strong.
And,
Absolutely.
yeah, so I try my best. I want to stick around for a long time because I am very curious of what technology is going to bring.
Oh my gosh,
We're
yes.
still in such an infancy age of this AI stuff.
Right.
In 10 years,
Yeah.
what's it going to do?
Yeah.
And me and Carrie have talked about it a couple times, but there's a company in a warehouse in Oregon, I think in Eugene, Oregon.
Uh-huh.
It's a company of robots building robots.
Wow.
And I think right now they're only up to like 10,000 a year.
Wow.
But it's going to keep just getting faster and better.
Yeah.
And I'm going to buy one when I can.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Later in life, because
Yeah.
I'm in a wheelchair, so later in life I'm going to need a little
Yeah.
bit more.
To have that assistance.
Man, if I could have a robot
That would be pretty cool.
that'd be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I
That'd
would
be pretty cool.
I would love that.
That would be, oh yeah. Until it started beating me in pool, then then I'd have to pull its battery out. And I can't have the robot beating
Oh
me
my
at that.
gosh, I love it.
No.
That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want a robot, right? And I've been watching The Mandalorian with Kevin lately, so
Nice.
they always have those really cool robots.
Yeah.
And I think that's a guy thing too. I think they've always been kind of fascinated with robots,
Yeah.
like from Rosie on the Jetsons.
Oh
and-
yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah, other things.
What was that other one? There was that other movie where he built a robot with the one that all the guys, the kids like.
Johnny Five? Short Circuit?
Yes,
Short
Short
Cir-
Circuit. Remember?
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
with what's her name?
Johnny
that model.
Five was the name of the robot in the Short Circuit.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. Oh yeah, no, those were great movies. If I could have had a robot like that back then.
Oh,
Heck yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, some of the new wheelchairs they're coming out with
yeah.
are, there's this one, it's $40,000, but it's on two wheels.
Uh-huh.
It's a big wheelchair.
Uh-huh.
You can either control it with a joystick, or you can control it like a Segway. Just lean a little forward, and the
Oh,
wheelchair goes, lean back,
that's
it
really
stops,
cool.
and it goes up and down stairs.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, $40,000, but hey,
Well,
it'll come down in price the
eventually.
more the years
Yeah,
go through. I'm looking up all that stuff. There's so many crazy things now.
I
You
bet.
can get tracks, you can anything.
Yeah, I think
anything.
that's really cool about our era. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of negative
Yeah,
negative press around it. But for the advances in science and technology and
Oh, yeah.
medicine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all the things we can do
and I
now.
don't know where I'm at with it yet,
Yeah.
but the Neuralink through Elon Musk or whatever his
Yeah.
company is called,
Yeah.
supposedly for spinal injuries, it's connected to the brain and then connected below
Uh-huh.
where the spinal injury is,
Uh-huh.
so it can redirect
Uh-huh.
and help people get all motor skills back.
Wow.
I really hope that's. I'm never gonna do that. I'm too lazy.
Uh,
But for future
Yeah.
people, I hope that really works.
Yeah.
I hope it does. And I've had a great life, but I know I've been slowed down in some things. And,
yeah, well,
I'm not going to jump on the back of a horse or,
right.
well,
Maybe.
one time in Sturgis I tried.
How'd that
And-
go?
Well, they were almost ready to put me on the mechanical bull. And then the person who was with me at the time
Oh,
grabbed me, put me back in my chair, and started rolling me away. And probably a group of 500 people were booing him.
oh. You would have had to have really strong arms to be on there.
Oh, it would have killed me.
Oh, God.
Once it does this,
Oh, God.
Yeah, but it was Sturgis. It was my first and only time there. And I was literally, I had a water bottle filled with Jack Daniels. And just,
You're like, I
Oh.
can do it.
Oh.
Sign me up.
the first night, I lost the two buddies. Somehow I made it I pushed myself 2 miles down the road. And these weren't great sidewalks either,
Yeah.
but the roads were okay. I eventually got back to the car. We parked in a McDonald's parking lot. and they're passed out in it, just waiting for me. They didn't even come looking for me. Losers. What the hell?
Wow.
Yeah, I'd like to go back though when I can experience it properly
Yeah.
without the, yeah.
Was
I was drunk for 8 days.
right. Oh yeah.
It was 2010, their
Okay.
70th anniversary,
Tell me again where Sturgis is. I always forget.
South Dakota.
Oh, South Dakota.
Yeah.
Okay. So you could maybe go through there when you're.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
When I first got my license, uh, within a couple days after getting it, grabbed my sister and we went on a 2-week road trip. Idaho, Montana, Wisconsin, South Dakota, came back over around here to Washington.
Uh-huh.
My nephew called us and said, "Hey, I'm in California. Can you pick us up?" Sure, we're on our
Oh,
way. So we
that's
go out
cool.
to Washington, go to California, go
Really?
pick him up. Yeah, it was amazing, and yeah, I still love driving. I can't wait to just. I haven't been camping in like 30 plus years.
Yeah. Just
Just-
get out on the
Yeah,
road. Yeah.
yeah.
Are you going to do kind of a little test trip before, maybe close by?
Well, I'll probably do a test trip right in my garage,
Yeah.
just to make sure I
Yeah.
can comfortably get from my chair to the bed. I want
Right.
to do that a few times.
Right.
Make sure I got that down, and once I got that down,
You're
I can
fine.
go anywhere.
Okay.
Because I'm a pretty self-contained unit. I have a colostomy bag,
Okay.
so that takes care of that.
Right.
And I self-cath myself.
Oh, okay.
So
You're
you know,
good.
I'm pretty self-contained.
That's kind of nice.
in all those areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a
Yeah.
big part of it when you're traveling.
Oh, yeah.
Going to the bathroom and yeah, I
Yep.
mean, let's face it.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't have to have those kind of things in there, and the van already comes, except the front windshield and the driver and passenger door. All the windows have blinds,
Oh, okay. Cool.
so I can really black that out.
Yeah.
I think the only other thing, one of my friends brought this up, maybe put a curtain behind the driver's area and the
Oh,
passenger.
yeah.
So then, I shut that. at
Shut
night
it
or
all
something.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea,
Yeah.
just for some extra privacy.
Yep.
And then you're going to figure out the food thing too, right? Because you're
Oh,
going to have
yeah.
someone with you, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
can do some.
Yeah, because I got a roof rack on top.
Yeah.
But obviously I can't
Right.
get to. But as long as I got someone else,
They can.
we can put storage up there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Whatever we need on the bed,
Yeah.
and then wherever we get to, unload. And
Right. So
Yeah.
will you actually? You'll be cooking like you got a little stove and stuff that you're. Gonna,
hopefully, yeah, I want to get all that stuff.
Uh huh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Amazon. Lots more packages
Yep,
coming.
yep.
All right.
Absolutely. Heck yeah, get back to all the basics on that. It's
Yeah,
just
that's
when
fun.
I was growing up, Mom and Dad took us out camping
Yeah.
a lot, and it was just always fun, just being in nature.
It is.
And since I'll have someone with me, we're gonna drive until we lose signal,
That's awesome.
and hopefully we don't lose engine.
Yeah. Just make sure
Yeah.
you set up your hip camp before you lose signal so that you know where you're going. Because we came in,
Oh.
we got into a couple of those situations
Yeah.
where we kind of lost it, and
Oh.
or we ran out of gas one time.
Oh, no.
That was my fault, but
Ah.
that's okay.
Awesome.
But the signal thing was interesting because I didn't realize in Utah, because it's cut out by so many mountain ranges and stuff, that you didn't get signal a lot. So
Wow.
you want to make sure whatever info you need to download, you download it before, Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna let people know where I'm going.
Right.
Yep. If you don't hear from me at this time,
Right. Check
Send-
in. Yeah.
check in,
Send
yeah.
send someone
send
out to find
somebody. Send somebody. I thought about possibly buying one of those Starlinks
Yeah,
through Tesla,
that's a good idea.
because then you can hook those up. Anywhere.
Kevin's friend who had come to the show, who was here for the weekend.
Jamie.
Oh yeah, Jamie.
Yeah.
Oh okay, you met him.
Yep.
Yeah, good memory. He had a Starlink because he and his wife were trying to work off-site and test that out. He said it worked really well.
Wow.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. So that's probably a good idea, actually.
Yeah, because I imagine if we put it on top of the van, it should get some clarity
Absolutely.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yes, definitely. Something to think of. Something to think of. Man, I didn't get.
Are we done already? No.
Well, we're an hour and 18.
Oh
in.
my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, no, when it's good, it just flows. But I want to save some for next time.
Okay.
I didn't get 98% of my.
That's
questions,
okay. That means we got more
But
shows.
I do love talking about travel. I've lived vicariously through family members who have traveled, and lived through you and all your pictures and stories. I love hearing them all.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff is so cool.
Awesome.
There's just everybody get out, go see something.
Yes.
There's so much more
Absolutely. There's so
on
much.
this planet to go check out. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
still look at some posters and places and go, that's actually on our Earth.
I know.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
And then I also think too, I've thought about this quite a while. Have you ever heard of North Sentinel Island?
I haven't.
It's an island where there's a tribe of people live on it.
Uh-huh.
Could be 15 to 300 people.
Uh-huh.
But they're not sure anymore.
Oh.
But all countries know,
Oh.
don't go to this island, they will murder you.
Oh my God.
And it's just, they know. So it blows my mind.
Where is
that
it?
we're doing all of this, and there's still a group of people on this planet that if they see an airplane or a boat get near their island, they're throwing spears,
Oh my
they're
gosh.
shooting arrows. There was a story, maybe 8 years ago or something. Some kid thought he was on the mission to
Oh no.
bring religion to their area.
Oh no.
He tricked some boat people to drop him off.
Oh my gosh.
They killed him quick.
Wow.
And then the boat people are in prison because they knew they weren't supposed to.
Oh my gosh. Where is it? Where, do you remember?
North Sentinel Island, that's all I remember.
Okay, but it's like in the.
But it looks really tropical. over
Okay,
there.
okay. Wow.
We'll have to look that one up.
Yeah,
But it's always blown my mind that there's still such a
yeah.
vast difference of life on this planet.
Right. So primitive, and then we're
Yeah.
here, like you said, we're
Yeah.
broadcasting across the
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so true. I
It's-
mean,
it's
it
interesting.
is interesting. But again, you don't want to go to that island, but you certainly
No.
can go to countries and places where the way of life is very different than ours, and that's
Yeah.
really a good. I just think you grow as a person when you do that, and as you get older,
Yes.
you are hopefully more open to just having that empathy and that curiosity. You just always want to stay curious, right?
Yes.
And you're not so worried about your ego and being judged or judging other people, right? You
Yeah.
just kind of want to experience what's out there. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was in Japan, still 15 years old, I got to see what was called a Habu mongoose fight.
Oh my gosh.
And it was in this, can't really say zoo area,
Right.
because you're walking through woods and
Oh, yeah.
checking stuff out, but then you get to this open area in the middle, the giant glass case, glass piece, and
Oh.
everybody's sitting down, and
Oh, no.
here come the wranglers, and they put a snake in one side and a
Oh, my goodness.
mongoose on the other.
Oh, so that's like a sport to them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they lifted up that glass, and the snake, he lunged at that mongoose, and the mongoose must have been like Superman and just watched, and then bit. Took out that snake so quick.
And you're never going to forget that.
Oh, never gonna forget
That
that.
is crazy.
And then seeing a spider with legs that could literally wrap around my head. Oh yeah.
That is creepy.
That was, yeah, creepy.
Wow.
But yeah, to this day, I still dream about that area.
Yeah.
One of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of, I'm going to have to say, I got another good story
Okay.
for next time.
Okay.
How I got to go to Japan.
Oh, okay. I'd love to
Yeah.
hear it. All right.
Yeah. But for this one, everybody, we're going to save round 2 for, I don't know, when you want to do this again next week. And you got future travels coming up.
I do.
We'll talk about those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, I can come next week.
Yeah.
What's next week? Yeah. I don't have anything going on.
You got next Tuesday afternoon at 2?
Oh, shoot. Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. I'm
No worries.
actually, we're going to San Francisco to visit his daughter and then San Diego to visit mine.
Nice.
So the week after.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, let me know when you're back in
All right,
town.
I will.
Yeah. So we'll say goodbye, everybody, and
Bye. Thank
see you next time.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
You hit that
Yep.
button up there.